I'm Scotty McCoy. I'm with Real McCoy Enterprises. Today I'm here to tell you a little bit about how to set up a tank sprayer at your receiving grain pit. This is what is generally called a tote. They can be found all around the country. You would want to find one that had not been used for any kind of herbicide or insecticide. Preferably something that was food grade. We can show you today how you can take this tank and install on it a kit that we're going to send to you, and what the situation will be is that you'll be able to spray the grain as it goes into your pit and calibrate the sprayer at a rate that will fit your grain flow. And we will help point out to you the proper application point to apply this spray. One no-no is never try to apply it in an elevated leg. It's always better in a screw auger, drag chain, or belt.
We will be glad to discuss with you what you have at your operation and how you can choose the proper application point. Now let's look at the tools and other parts we're going to need to make this tank functional.
The first thing you're going to need is a 2x4 that fits across the tank, and you will install it with what I've used here are U-clamps, and that makes it handy. You can drill your holes in there, and what you will need is a 1/4 inch drill bit. You can use a wood bit or you can use a metal bit, and you'll need a small wrench, like we have an 11mm wrench here to tighten it up. So the first step that we're going to have here today is to take this 2x4 and we're going to mount it onto our tank. This needs to be mounted about 2 inches so from the top. And once we get this mounted on here, then we'll mount our spray unit on. So the first thing to do is go ahead and maybe put your nuts on the U-clamp and just kind of hand tighten, and we might want to move that board and adjust it a little bit once we get the spray tank on here, or the sprayer system on here. The next thing we need is a drill with a 1.5 inch wood bit. And what we're going to do, we're going to need to drill these holes so we can mount our pipe adapters through the top of the tank. To do this, you'll need some assistance. You need to take your top off of the tank. What we would like to do before we drill any holes is just place your pump unit up here on top of this 2x4 and see where your intake hose is going to need to go through. You need to line it up. I have marked mine with a marker just to see where it is, and you can do that by just placing it up there, and that's a 1.5 inch hole. That's what we're going to drill. Just set your midpoints there. One is going to be for your intake hose, and this is going to be for your return hose. So we're not going to mount it right now, but when you mount it, you're going to need I've got a star bit here with 1 3/4 inch screws, and I'll put 4 in that 1x4. That is a treated 1x4, so you don't have to worry about painting. And the 2x4 is treated. And I suggest using that treats your 2x4, and then you won't have to paint it like I did. Okay, now we're going to remove the spray unit for a moment, and we're going to drill our holes for these adapters to go through. Once again, we're using a 1.5 inch wood bit. Now my assistant here is going to reach in this hole and catch the filings. We don't want these falling in the tank and stopping up your tank later on. Now what we want to do is mount the adapters into the tank. Okay, what we want to do is we want to put the hose in on first. Okay, while we're looking at this is our return line, and this is called a jet agitator, and it will come apart, and there's a little piece that goes in here with a hole in it, and that piece controls the size of the stream getting down to the agitator part. You will find a little one in your box, a little kind of tree-like thing that's got a bunch of these attached to it with small and larger holes. I put the one in I thought would be correct, but if you need more agitation, you would put a smaller one of those into that point, and all you got to do is unscrew it. So now what we're going to do, we've got the agitation going in, and we're going to put it in and bring this up. Okay, now we're going to mount the suction hose into the tank. And what we're going to do is put the suction hose on this side of the connector. This will be going on the inside of the tank, and then we're going to tighten it down from the top. Okay, suction hose going into the tank. Now we have both hoses installed into the tank. Now you may have to cut these hoses off right here to fit the where the pump's going to be located. So it's probably best to go ahead and put a hose on each one here, and we'll try to cut them off and get them adjusted correctly. Yeah, we got a lot too much hose here. I want to get it lined up where your hose is. Is that one lined up pretty close?
Yes.
Okay. And what we're going to need to do is adjust by cutting our hoses off. Use a good sharp knife for this. Okay, are we sitting about right? We lined up right. These are 1 3/4 inch screws. 1x4 is now attached to the 2x4. Okay, now we want to secure our 2x4 Just tighten it up. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to attach the flow indicator. This is a flow indicator which will, by the use of putting a small ball in the indicator, it will move as the water goes through, so you can tell that you do have a flow. And you definitely wouldn't want to use a steel ball nor the red marble. So I'm thinking the green one is probably the lightest, but you might have to take it out and adjust it later on. Next step is going to be to cut a piece of hose here to attach this outlet. Okay, now we're going to need to connect this hose up to this right here, to the bottom of our flow indicator. Our last, not the last thing, but this will be the last hose we'll have to put on. This is our hose that will go to the point of application. And anyway, we're gonna hook it up. Okay, to stabilize this hose here to help out with the motion on the flow meter, I'm just going to put a plastic towel in here and secure this hose. All right, what we have here is a little package with your strainer and your hose barb, and it holds the tip, and it will go into the application point, and whatever, you'll have some kind of box or drill a hole into some metal that this will go through, and inside of it you'll have your 50 mesh strainer, and then this little nut right here will be what will secure, you'll secure your hose barb to whatever placement point you've got, and then your tip goes on the end. Now we have different size tips. This particular one is an 04 double, and it may or may not work for what application you have, but you can get tips that Tractor Supply will help you.
Your T-Jet brand.
Get the T-Jet brand tips, and the amount of pressure and the size of the tip will govern how much water we're trying to get per minute or per hour. We're wanting to put out 5 gallons of water on 1,000 bushels. So you have to determine how many bushels per hour that your grain is moving, and that's how we will help you calibrate your sprayer.
Here's our finished unit. It's all set up and working. See, right now it is set at about 26 psi, and it's agitating in there. I'll show you the picture for that. And when we turn it on, see it drops down to about 23.5 maybe. And then you can see our green ball is right there.